be like, yo, Eddie Murphy Raw. Like every time I watch it, I'm gonna laugh.
Yep.
Right. Even if you know it and then you recite it. Right. Chris Rock. Right.
Yep.
You can everybody that was around for that knows, like, I won't hit a woman. I'm not.
But I'll shake it. And you know it's funny because even when Chris Rock said, you could relate to it because even now, I told her, I said, I won't hit you, but I'll shake the shit out of you.
I remember my kids were like, Dad, would you hit a woman? No, I wouldn't hit a woman, but I'll move her out the way. I will kindly exit. But it's that, like, it's and what I like about it, we were talking about this today because we were talking about, like, Archie Bunker and the Jeffersons and Sanford and Sons, and how if you go back and watch that, like, you can pick family members out from those places and be like Archie Bunker was my grandfather. Hated everyone equally. Like, it didn't matter who it was. But then at the end, you're like, who's your best friend? Who George Jefferson. It's like, wait a minute, what the hell? Why do you both? And then you realize George Jefferson was miserable, just like Archie Bunker. And then you got the little Archie Bunker's wife, who's like, 5 foot nothing, kindest person in the world. Used to yell at Archie and be like, you can't talk about people like that. But then you go to Sanford and Sons, and you see the type of stuff he was saying, and it's like, yo, and you see that gold, and I think that people are so, everybody has to be PG. And culturally appropriate now, and for good reason. You know what I'm saying? But what I think people need to stop doing is trying to cancel things and start realizing that we can learn from these comedy specials, the comedies. Like when you watch like Trading Places, man, Dan Aykroyd was in blackface. Okay, that shit would not fly right now.
No.
But if you go back to 1983. It's a time capsule of how people felt and what was really an issue and really wasn't at the time, right? When you go back to Live on Sunset, right, and you start realizing, like, Richard Pryor was making fun of white people.
Yep.
That was, like, the first real, like I'm not talking about Undercover, like,
he was live on stage.
He was live on stage around a whole bunch of white people. He said, there's a lot of white people here.
Yep.
Right? And he started to go in, and it's like, people could be offended, but I also think if you know your history and you know the time frame, that was a big deal.
Yep.
When you go look at, like, Chris Rock talking about, I won't hit a woman, but I'll shake the shit. Yeah, in 2023, you probably couldn't say that.
In 2023, you can't even shake a woman right now.
No, but I'm just saying, you couldn't even say that. It's comedy. But when you look at it in 1996... it made a lot of different sense in 1996 than it does now. So
when you look at Dave Chappelle today, nowadays, some of the subjects he talks about and everything like that, people's ready to cancel him, but it's comedy.
Yeah, and comedy also is supposed to make you think. There's comedians out there you can just go and that shit is just funny. Like Kevin Hart, somebody, you can go and watch a Kevin Hart special, watch him in stand-up, and you'll laugh for an hour and 20 minutes, and it'll be relatable, but it may not be. If you're looking for social commentary, it's not going to be there because he's not that type of comedian.
Exactly.
But if you're going to pay money to go to a Dave Chappelle show, you're going to understand that some of the things he says are going to be controversial because that's the type of comedian he is. And it's not. And what I like about Dave Chappelle and what I like about a lot of these comedians, when they do touch on social issues, it's not from a place of hate.
No. It's a place from their personal experience.
Yep.
Their personal experience. And sometimes it's just...
Some of that shit is funny.
You just gotta laugh at.
Listen.
Like I'm gonna use like when Cat Williams said, "Get you some white friends." Yeah. He said, "Get you some white friends." He said because they're not shocked about anything you do. Like you could call, like, what was the routine that he did? When somebody called with the wrong number and was like, "No, you dialed a 5. This is a 6. But if we put our hands together, we can figure this out."
Listen, but it's not even like I think I've watched, like, even Paul Mooney.
Ooh,
listen, Paul Mooney's funny.
Mooney.
I've never been offended by everything he said. Because, listen, a lot of the shit...
Keep in mind, Paul Mooney wrote most of the jokes for Red Fox, Richard Pryor, and Eddie Murphy. He was writers for them.
Yo, listen. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of stuff that these comedians make fun of culturally, especially on the side of white people, this shit is true. Like I'm not even... Like, I just think that, if you're going to be uptight, man, don't go to a comedy show.
No. Oh, no.
I remember going to a comedy show. It was... what's the dude's name? Damn, how am I forgetting his name? He was in Friday too. Mike Epps.
Oh, okay.
Yo, his first comedian they brought out was a female. She was hilarious. I forgot her name, but she was talking about how she was so high. The officer pulled over, and the officer was like, "Are you high?" And she's like, "Am I high?" I still remember that. You want some? I remember that shit was. It had me laughing because that's what one of us would probably done. Like, what you mean? I'm high, right? And then another comedian came on, and my wife and I were sitting right up there, and they looked at me and my wife, and they go, "Oh, you two?" In front of, at the Oakdale, 4,000 people. I was like, stand up real quick. And we stood up. Now I'm 6'7". She 5'2". I'm white. She's black. Everybody's laughing. I'm just like, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm not fucking with you. You too big for this shit. I had to get my security first and bring him over." So he goes and gets the security, then he comes over and fucks him. He's like, "Is he really doing a good job?" We know why. Is he rich? Is that why you with? I'm like, my wife's like, "No." Fuck, you could have lied. You could have lied. You put out this. So why are you with? Oh, we know why you with. He is 6'7". How big your feet? Oh, so it's not true. I'm like, then my wife's like, and he's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Oh, my God!" Like, I'm like, "Yo, I'm never coming back to a comedy show. I just wanted to say, why you had to get good seats? Why they had to come into the crowd? Like, this is not Jodeci concert. I don't need to see Casey serenading the crowd. Like, Jesus." But even then, it was hilarious because it's like, yo, when you go there, when we went to what's the place up in Manchester, the comedy club in Manchester?
Not the Hookie Bar.
Funny Bone.
Funny Bone. Yes, Funny Bone.
And we saw somebody there, yo. He was hilarious, and he was like, "Big man, you." And I'm just like, "Yep." And he's like, "I'm not even messing with you because I see your facial expression. You get this a lot." He's like, "Nah, cute couple." We moved on, like, because he knew in that moment. He looked at me. I made eye contact. I was just like, "I'm ready. Let's go." Yep. It's like, but it's. Listen, I love it. I love comedy. You have a bad day, you could throw on your. Listen, you can go on Netflix, find something, or you could throw on your favorite to go to, and in that moment, shit just will kind of subside for the minute.
Yep.
It's that drug that you don't got to worry about an addiction to it, because.
And if you do get addicted to it, it's a good addiction.
Laughing is great.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that's our top 5, / top 20 comedy. And I know there's other people out there, yo. I watch like comedy clips on YouTube. Jim Gaffigan, dude.
I watched
talk about Hot Pockets, and he's like, Hot Pockets. He's like, how you could? It don't matter when you eat a Hot Pocket, you still burning the roof of your mouth. And I'm like, I'm laughing because it takes me back to college when that's all you could afford. And it's like every time, and it's like, yo, be a blessing, and we're out. There we go. I got it.